versus American Red Cross. And after all of their remarks are complete, we will go ahead with question and answer from our local media via Zoom audio. And we start with Governor Ige.
Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm glad that all of the mayors will be able to participate. It's certainly something that we've been working to see happen. I think it's very important for all of you to be able to get information directly from the mayors. I just want to assure you we have representatives from FEMA that the federal, state, and county governments are working together to coordinate the response, ensuring that we are prepared as Hurricane Douglas approaches and passes by our state. I did have the conversation with Mayor Kim this morning from Hawaii Island, and they were fortunate to be able to not be impacted by Hurricane Douglas, and certainly they are moving through the next phases of returning to normal on Hawaii Island. We are working with all the mayors. Mayor Victorino on Maui will be with us this morning, and Mayor Caldwell, as Hurricane Douglas passes through the state of Hawaii, and Mayor Kawakami from Kauai. We've been working to prepare for the response. I know as we speak, Maui County is seeing the brunt of Hurricane Douglas, and we'll have a direct report from Mayor Victorino. Here on Oahu and on Kauai, you should be in final stages of preparation, shelter in place, as that is the best option. Just a reminder, if you do feel like you're in an unsafe condition and are wanting to seek shelter, to bring your mask, hand sanitizers, and sanitizing wipes to your emergency kit. It's important. We are implementing physical distancing protocols in all of the shelters, and it's very important for you to have that material if you seek shelter on Oahu or in any of the shelters across the state. I know that Mayor Caldwell will be making an announcement concerning city and county facilities. I have decided to close state offices here on Oahu and on Kauai on Monday, tomorrow. The judiciary, all courts will be closed as well, and the University of Hawaii and the Department of Education are closing all of their facilities as well. So state offices will be closed here on Oahu and on Kauai tomorrow. Just want to assure you that we are leaning forward, federal, state, and county partners to respond to Hurricane Douglas as it passes through our state. We are committed to implementing all of the actions necessary to assure that you will remain safe in our community from the impacts of the storm. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Governor. Mayor Caldwell is with us in the ceremonial room, and he's up there.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and I want to thank the governor for inviting our participation, all the mayors, along with all our other partners. Only by working together do we get through this hurricane and our pandemic. Over the evening, unfortunately, Hurricane Douglas shifted slightly closer to Oahu, and it's going to remain a hurricane as it passes by the island of Oahu. Strong Cat 1 with winds up to 90 miles per hour. This is the first time in my 8 years as mayor that we've had a hurricane approach this closely to Oahu. In the past, we've been lucky. This time, not as lucky, and we need to be prepared. So we're going to expect strong winds, tropical force winds, over all of the island of Oahu in the coming hours, with gusts up to 75 miles per hour. And the effects are going to be starting around 2 this afternoon and continuing through tomorrow morning. Hurricane Douglas is moving at about 60 miles per hour which means we're going to see a window of about 12 hours where we're going to see major impacts, and we need to be prepared for that. We have a triple threat here. One is rain, one is wind, and one is storm surge. I want to describe each one a little bit. So on rain, we're expecting rain to fall between 5 and 10 inches this afternoon and this evening, meaning we could see flooding along our streams all around this island. With wind, initially we're going to see winds coming out of the northeast to northwest, and then it's going to shift to the south. And that's not the usual way the wind blows when we have trays or strong gusty trays. So we see more damage as the wind shifts into the south. And we need to make sure that all of our buildings and our structures and homes, everything's tied down, not only on the north side, but on the south side too. And then storm surge. We're expecting about 3 inches of surge. Now, that is significant because we're going to be seeing a high tide, not a high tide, but a high tide at around 8:45 p.m. this evening. And with stream flow being strong because of the downpours, and with storm surge, we're going to see probably a backup of water along our streams all around the island. And that could create flooding in areas where you wouldn't expect to see it. So we're asking folks to go to oneoahu.org. We have a surge map that we just put up yesterday, the first time ever for the state of Hawaii, working with our partners at National Weather Service and folks at the city, that show where you could expect to see flooding. And it could be in places like Coconut Grove by Kauai Nui Marsh. It could be places in Haleiwa, in other places all the way from Waimanalo out to Haleiwa. That's where we think the greatest impact is going to be as Hurricane Douglas passes by. And so we're asking everyone along this coastline to be particularly careful and to go to this map just to be prepared if you start to see water rising, what you need to do, like putting your possessions up on tables or even deciding to evacuate. At this point, you should be taking your final steps to protect yourself and your family. You should be identifying the shelter you want to move into. If you think you cannot weather out the storm, first choice, always highest priority is a shelter in place. If not, then you move in with family or friends. If you can't do that, then you seek shelter. For that reason, at 11 o'clock, we sounded our alert sirens on the island of Oahu to give people 3 hours advance warning before we start feeling the impacts of Hurricane Douglas. In an abundance of caution, following in the footsteps of Governor Ige, the city and county of Honolulu will be closing all of its offices tomorrow morning. And we're doing it for the full day tomorrow. And we're doing this for a couple reasons. One, we want to protect the public who may be thinking they're going to come and do business with the city. And of course, our hardworking city and county of Honolulu public servants, we want to protect them too. We don't want people out on the road tomorrow where there could be debris and maybe some washout of roads and those kind of things. So the only city and county workers who are requested and should expect to come to work tomorrow are designated response workers. Designated response workers. You know who you are. You're the people who are coming in to make sure we can get back to a more normal situation here at the city and county of Honolulu. And we appreciate your sacrifice coming to work and helping the rest of us, the million on Oahu, return to a more normal way of life. For shelters, as you know, we've opened up 13 shelters here in the city and county of Honolulu. The largest one is with the convention center. We want to thank our partners at the convention center to allow us to open up there. As of now, we have